Hello, and welcome once again to Movies That Pop. I'm the Kernel. Let's see what popped up in theaters this week. Oh boy! Oh boy. Okay, I need a minute. I need to remind myself that it's okay to breathe now, because I just stumbled out of a screening of the latest Christopher Nolan film, Dunkirk. And that thing, my friends, is one intense experience. Everything in the movie. Now, we're talking about the IMAX cinematography, to the overwhelmingly bombastic sound design, to the tense, atonal, and stomach-churning score, to the deliberate omission of character development in the script. Everything in this movie is designed to create tension, confusion, and fear. What it doesn't create, and this is to its detriment, is a traditional sense of being told a story. Dunkirk, as written and executed, is very light on explanation or context. And when it comes to something as complicated as war, context ends up being very, very important. This isn't the same thing as perspective, something that the film does extremely well at creating, and which I'll talk about in a moment. But when that perspective is so specific to the point of tunnel vision, like you can only see the story through the eyes of three very specific perspectives given in Dunkirk, that of the land, the sea, and the air, without providing enough requisite context, the story being told ends up feeling oddly empty, like someone's idea of a proper war movie with all of the boring parts taken out. So, what's left when you take out all the boring parts? Well, all of the intense parts, of course. And the movie starts that intensity right from the jump, with even seemingly innocuous scenes peppered with dread because of that creepy Hans Zimmer score. We meet a soldier, never getting his name or really any details about him, but we follow him as he dodges gunfire through the streets of the small town of Dunkirk in France, eventually reaching the safety, safety! There's no such thing as safety here, of the beach, where 400,000 British soldiers were trapped by German forces so close to the safe shores of their homeland that they could practically see it across the channel. Now that is the land perspective. We also see a couple of pilots patrolling the skies above, including Tom Hardy, logging yet another performance in which he remains either mostly wordless or mostly hidden behind a mask. Here, he's both, and he takes care of the air contingent. On the sea, we follow a pleasure craft captained by civilian Mark Rylance, who, along with his son and his son's friend, has answered the call of his government to sail across the channel along with 800 other civilian ships to try to bring back as many of the English soldiers as possible. So there you have it. Land, sea, air. 3 plot lines told from 3 different and specific perspectives. And well told at that. As filmed by Nolan, everything from the helplessness of the soldiers dodging bombs on the beach, to the awe-inspiring aerial dogfights, to the chaos of a sinking ship, unfolds with such bracing immediacy and realism that it's impossible to not have a physical gut reaction. These, well, I almost call them sequences, except that they're honestly the whole movie. The entire movie provides imagery and emotional tension that alone are worth the price of admission. What it doesn't provide, and that's deliberate, is that context I was talking about. None of these characters are fleshed out enough, nor is the situation at large fleshed out enough, the historical significance of it, the big picture, the bigger story being told, to be, in the end, very effective storytelling. Even if I hadn't read interviews with Christopher Nolan, which I have, I'd know that he did this on purpose. The movie is only 1 hour and 47 minutes long, so you know that there was room in there. Just 5 minutes of exposition here or there would have been just perfect. A character explaining how he felt about how the battle was perceived back home would really have set a good payoff when you actually see the reaction of the British people later. It would have been much more powerful. Thank goodness then for the Kenneth Branagh and James Darcy characters, 2 military men that explain a couple of times some high-level perspective on what the troop movements are and what Churchill's strategy is and what the main obstacles are in the army's path. Because in movies like this, it's not enough to just see a plane flying overhead. We need characters in the movie to see the plane, then turn to another character and say, "Oh, that's a German plane, we're screwed." Or, "Hey, that's one of ours, we're saved!" We need these little nuggets of context to fully understand and therefore fully enjoy the story being told. Christopher Nolan, in getting so arty with things, seems to think, nope, no you don't. And very arty he is. In addition to the lack of characterization, he once again, as he did in Memento, tells his story in non-linear fashion, cutting between the stories, the perspectives, with more subtlety than in Memento, but to great effect near the end as you sort of start to realize what he's doing and what he's building to. It's really, look, it's a well-made piece of art. As a piece of art, I salute it. I recommend seeing it. in a theater that will present it in the biggest and loudest format that you can see it in. But as a narrative film, as a story, I award Dunkirk a large bag of popcorn. I'm glad I saw it, but I don't think I'd want to see it again, and I do not think it's Christopher Nolan's masterwork, but I believe it's still an impressive achievement in filmmaking. I didn't get a handle on the greater story or the characters, but I certainly needed a new pair of shorts after watching it, and that certainly counts for something. That does it for this edition of Movies That Pop. Don't forget to follow me, the Kernel, on Twitter at moviesthatpop, and click the icon right down there to visit our channel if you'd like to see more, and support us by clicking subscribe while you're there, and by clicking the thumbs up icon below. I'd like to hear your thoughts on Dunkirk in the comments as well. Let me know. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I'm the Kernel. Now keep calm and carry on.